What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. I'm the regular host, Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. Let me begin today by sipping my water. That's just a reminder. As we talk about your water and your health, I want to especially welcome you to Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, brought to you by TSF, the Shepherd's Flock International Church. As we've been discussing the place of water in the health equation, I promised you I will be bringing in some experts who will shed more light on some of the items of equipment that we all would need in our various homes and kitchens to be able to purify our water and get utmost benefit from the water we drink and the one we use to cook. Don't forget, I shared my story with you when I moved to my house. My wife and I, we tested the water of our borehole. We sent a sample to the lab, and the result that came out was not good at all. If we didn't do that test, we would have been drinking water that was contaminated with both biological agents, microorganisms, as well as chemicals, and very high level of iron, which could damage the liver on the long run. And when we tested and we knew what was in our water, we knew that it was time to, take steps to purify our water before we drink and before we use them in our culinary arts. And so we had to install some water purification gadgets in our home. I've told you that story before. So today we are focusing on devices that are out there in the market that can help every home, every family. And don't forget, I said we have to be intentional about all of these things. Just the same way we plan and save towards acquiring other things to make life comfortable and convenient for us. We plan, we pray, we save to buy a car. We plan, we save, we pray to buy refrigerators, to buy television sets, and subscribe to satellite services and what have you. The same way we need to plan, pray, and save towards acquiring things like juice extractors for our kitchen, and particularly water purification gadgets. And so today I'm honored to have a special guest with me who has graciously accepted to speak to us from his expertise and experience on water purification. I will allow him to introduce himself. He will mention his name, he will mention his organization, the organization he represents, and then he will mention some of the water purification products that they have. Maybe, if time permits, he will mention other products they have, but our focus today is on the water purification devices. So, welcome my guest. He will introduce himself. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Reverend Akinyemi, for this opportunity to be in this program today. The program is actually a very much well-watched one, and I'm so delighted to be here. My name is Onuoha Okono. I represent Elken Global. Elken Global is a Malaysian-based company that has been in existence for the past 29 years, okay? So for the past 29 years, we've been offering solutions to people across diverse countries on water solutions, okay? And we have several equipments that could help you get the solutions. Some of them we have here already in Nigeria. Okay, by the way, in Nigeria, we've been here for like 2 years in Nigeria. And then we have some of these equipment. There is one that is called the BioPure Ultra. Okay, I will tell you more about this. And then there's one that is called the Hydromi. The BioPure Ultra purifies your water. The Hydromi is one machine that every home really needs to have, because that's more like a medical machine that gives you hydrogen water. Okay, so in a nutshell, This who we are, Elken Global. We produce water solutions, amongst other things that we provide in terms of taking care of your health. We provide water solutions, and we actually are here to help Nigerians take care of the water they drink, because our water, which we drink, is critical, just like Reverend said while he began. Water is very important, it's critical, but how quality is the water that you take? That's another question that really is very important, and we provide these solutions actually.
Anyway, so let's start with some specifics. What exactly is this product you mentioned while you were introducing the product you have on offering? You mentioned Elken BioPure Ultra.
Okay.
What is it and how does it work?
Okay, so the Elken BioPure Ultra, it's a device that we actually manufactured as a result of the problems we know that people have in terms of water consumption. Now, I'll just say a few things. Some of the researches we've seen, which I know many of us also know, is that about 90% of the water that we consume is contaminated. Okay, and this actually comes by a lot of things: advancement in technology, pollution, so many things actually have led to contamination of the water that we drink. So most of the time we have water out there, but this water is not quality enough, okay? And the truth is, we are a product of what we drink, we're a product of what we eat, okay? And,
Preach it. Preach it.
yeah, actually, we're a product of what we drink. If what you drink is not good enough, then it's actually going to affect the whole of your system. And so, because we know this is a big problem and big issue, and especially also for people who, because they want to take care of this water problem situation, they have other means, okay? Maybe they resort to table waters and all of that. But right now, the cost is actually biting so hard. That's why we deem it fit to bring this product into Nigeria. That's Elken Global. It is called the Elken BioPure Ultra. What this does is to purify your water. It's one of the best water purification machines you can get out there in the market, and I can tell you why. You can actually Google this and check. The average water purifier you have in the market can purify your water to a precision level of 5 micron. Okay, so contaminants are measured in microns, okay? And then most of the times, most of those filters are actually activated carbon filters, and just maybe one filter in one machine, okay? And so it just purifies your water to like 5 micron. So, of course, 5 micron is very insignificant, but what it means is if you have a contaminant, whether it's biological, whether it's chemical or anything, okay, or microorganism that is less than 5 micron. So what it means is this microorganism can actually pass through the filter and still get into the water you're going to drink as the end result. Okay, so most filters can give you 5 micron. The most you can see, or the least you can see, will be like 1 micron. But we have a device that can purify your water to a precision level of 0.1 micron.
My goodness.
That means there is virtually no kind of contaminant, no matter how minute it may be, or parasite, or cyst, or anything contaminant that can pass through this filter. And so it gives you water that is highly purified. Okay, by the way, it's a device that has 4 filters.
Okay, cascaded.
Okay. Yes, 4 filters together. Okay, and then we have the activated carbon filter, we have the sediment filter, and of course we have one of the best filters, the membrane filter. And then of course these 4 filters, the activated filter is like 2 in it, purifies the water to this level. Okay, so the carbon filter, the sediment filter will take care of anything, particles, fine particles, sand, sediment, anything. The activated carbon filter will take care of anything that has to do with chemicals. You have chlorine. Okay, of course we know that sometimes chlorine is a necessary evil, really. It's one of the ways we've learned to purify our water, but somehow it's a necessary evil.
Which personally I do not subscribe to.
Yeah, sure, because we just need to purify, and that's why most times we call it.
I would rather boil my water to kill the germs than use chlorine to kill the germs.
It becomes a very much necessary evil that most times we get ourselves into. So the second filter would purify all of this that you have in the water. Then of course the membrane filter, which is very critical. Most of the water we drink, because we're not able to see them, are filled with microorganisms, parasites, cysts, bacteria, different things. So the membrane would help to trap all of this. And then by the time the water is coming out, you're having water that is highly purified to a precision level of about 0.1 micron. Okay, and that gives you water that is high, top-notch quality. Okay, so that's what the BioPure Ultra actually does.
Thank you. Well, before I ask the next question, I just wanted to introduce our next guest right here today. His name is Kingsley Simon. When the time comes, you will know why he is here. All right. Now, from what you've described on how this Elken BioPure Ultra works, would it not also filter out the minerals in the water? If there are minerals dissolved in the water, will it not take all the minerals out? Which means the end product may not have any mineral inside.
Okay.
Is that true?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Okay, not necessarily. But of course, for me, there are several school of thoughts in terms of minerals in the water. But for me, I'm actually part of the school of thought that
you get your mineral from elsewhere.
Yeah, from elsewhere,
your water.
of course. Then
food,
if there has
vegetables,
to be
fruits.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
So if there has to be a contaminant that may affect me, okay, I could just do away with that and get minerals elsewhere.
From your fruits.
but of course, it doesn't do that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Good. Now, can our media team just show the image of the Elken BioPure Ultra so our viewers can see the image of the device? Now, I got one. I have one in my house.
Oh, wow.
So one thing that tricks me about it is the fact that it doesn't use electricity.
Definitely.
Can you say something about that?
I was going to talk about that now.
Okay.
That's another very interesting part of this device. It doesn't require electricity.
Right.
It doesn't store water. Okay, so you just connect it directly to your tap. Okay, you have your borehole at home. You can actually drink from your borehole, especially at this time where the costs of getting potable water is actually on the increase. Okay, so just connect this to your borehole. You don't need electricity. You're not paying for any other extra energy. Okay, and the water just flows through. Once you put on your tap, water flows through. Same time, purifying your water at the same time.
Right.
So I often tell people that means you're taking living water. Water that is flowing through at the same time, not stored anywhere. You're not afraid of contamination at all because it's not stored anywhere. It just flows through and you drink directly from the source. Okay, so this makes it also very unique. And it's a product that is very easy to use. It is DIY, do it yourself. You don't require any plumber or anything.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah. So
how easy is it to install?
It's very easy. Very, very
Everybody
easy.
can do it by themselves.
Anyone
they don't
can
need
actually.
a technician to come around and...
Anyone can actually do it. So one woman was in the office and she was trying to explain how easy it was, and she was like, my 10-year-old daughter was one who fixed ours for us.
Wow.
And that's how easy it is, really.
Right.
Okay. But the truth is, we also got some documents or video that could also help people in terms of fixing it, but it's quite easy to fix.
All right. I'm told that we need to go on break right now. But let me prepare your mind. When we come back, I want us to look at, because I'm thinking in my head, if it uses filters, that means that those filters must have a lifespan.
Sure.
So you talk to us about, do we need to replace those filters or are they there permanently for life? When we come back after this short break, we'll be dealing with that question. But don't forget that what we need is not more medication, but more education. And I want to encourage you to understand the fact that the best prescription is knowledge. And that knowledge is what we are bringing to you right here today, particularly as it relates to water purification. Because one of the biggest challenges the world over is the problem of water. Even though the planet Earth, 70% of the Earth is covered with water, yet humanity still struggles with water. And that's because of many reasons. Contaminations through human activities and what have you. And so to get the kind of water that we can use in our homes for drinking, for cooking, so that it will help improve our health and not cause health challenges for us, we need to be very intentional about this, and we need to have the understanding that we all have to invest in our health. And this particular product, when we come back from this break, I'll be asking him how much it costs so that people will know that it doesn't cost an arm and a leg after all, because the one I got for my home, it didn't cost me an arm and a leg. Don't go away. We're going to be back very shortly. welcome back. This is still Exposé with Tony Akinyemi, and I have on my set today Mr. Onuoha of Elken Global, talking to us about water purification devices that every home in Nigeria in particular must have, and maybe elsewhere as well. But we are particular about Nigeria and the rest of Africa for right now. But of course, everybody elsewhere, because the company exists in other countries of the world. But water is critical to health, and we do not want to take chances. There are waterborne diseases, and we don't want to become victims of those diseases. That's why we must be proactive and preemptive to prevent what could be a disaster for the future. I like the idea of upstream intervention compared to downstream intervention. We do things now to prevent disease tomorrow, rather than wait till disease shows up before we now begin to run from pillar to post to seek out solutions. All right, so before we signed off during the first half, Mr. Onuoha was telling us about the device, how it works and all of that. And then I was going to ask him, since he uses filters, what is the lifespan of each filter? How often should one replace the filters if it requires replacement? And will that not be an ongoing huge cost at the end of the day? I want you to allay the fears and concerns of people along those lines.
Oh, okay. So in responding to this, maybe I would want to throw up a question I asked someone one of the presentations I went for. So I was just asking randomly what kind of water people take at home. And this lady was like, she uses sachet water. Okay, so I asked her, you're a family of how many? She said 5. How many bags do you take in a day? And then she said 3 bags. You know, of course.
In one day.
Yeah, in one day. Little children take water a lot.
Yeah,
just
I know,
like
yeah.
my home,
yeah.
my boys take water a lot, you know. So 3 bags. So I was doing a kind of analysis with her. Now, a bag of pure water costs 500 naira. Okay, so I asked her, she said 500 naira. Okay, 500 multiplied by 3, that's 1,500.
Every day.
Every day. So every day she spends 1,500 on pure water, on sachet water. Okay, so if you would look at that in 1 month, that's about 45,000 naira.
Wow.
Okay, if you look at that in 1 year, you're talking of well over 500,000. That's about 540,000. So I said to her, you're a millionaire, madam, you don't know actually. When I told her she spent about 540,000, her mom was like, I said, you didn't know, but because you buy that in piecemeal,
yeah.
Okay, and the water you're not sure of, and that's the truth,
yeah.
really,
yeah.
but you consume and use that much. Okay, so we have this gadgets, okay, the lifespan of the filters, there are 4 filters there. The first filter, that is the sediment filter, most often is the one that you really may have to change, because that's the one that traps all the sand,
all the particles and
all of that. So, and that could last you for about 8 months to 12 months, okay, before you get to change it. But of course, that depends on the water quality
of the water coming in.
water quality, and how often you get to use that.
Yeah.
Okay, so, but normally it should last you for like 8 to 12 months. But interestingly, the one we have in our office, which is not like, right now, the one in our office is not like a domestic usage, because our office is like an experience center. A lot of people come in there, they drink from that. So we use that very well. We have used that more than 1 year plus, and we haven't changed any of the filters.
Now, is there any indicator to let you know when it's time to change? Okay,
so one of the things you get to discover is the water flow begins to reduce.
Okay.
Okay, by the way, this equipment is not a machine really. This equipment, the water flow rate is about 105 liters per hour, and that's huge, really. Yeah, so it's something that I'm sure no family can consume that in one day. Yeah. Okay, so it's very huge, but you begin to discover that the flow rate reduces, and maybe
as it gets clogged.
Yeah, as it gets clogged, and at the time, maybe it completely stops. But at that instance, it's only the first filter that I really need to change.
Okay.
Because the second filter can last for like 15 to 18 months, and the third and fourth filters can last you for like 24 months.
That's really economical when you do the maths.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Anyway, how much is the machine itself, so that we know where we're starting from? If somebody wants to pick this thing, what's the retail price?
Okay, so if you want to pick the machine,
as of today, because prices fluctuate. So don't quote him anywhere. Whatever he says now is just a guide.
Sure.
Because at the time you want to purchase, there may have been price change. So, but it won't be anything far away from what it is now.
Definitely,
all right.
Definitely. So right now, because we want every household to have this. And then we're concerned about people having this solution so that people don't get to affect their health as much as possible. So we put it at a price that is quite friendly for everyone. So you're talking about 194,400 for anyone who actually wants to purchase this. This is what we give it out.
194,400 naira. So
that's
less than 200,000.
Yeah, if you will compare that to 540,000,
that would buy 2 plus.
That's it. So someone asked me a question about the filters and changing them, and I said even if you were to buy a new one entirely for 194,000 in a year, you still save yourself about 300,000 plus in terms of maybe what you're consuming before. And for me, that's good quite economical.
That's good maths.
Okay, and so one of the advantages actually of having filters like this is that you actually will be saving yourself a lot of cost, especially in this depressing economy where everybody really needs to know how to manage your expense and all of that. So, but this one would save you cost actually.
Now, people usually think of that once upfront investment as, can I afford 200,000? It's less than 200,000, 190-something. Can I afford that? And the maths you just did now just settled that question once and for all.
Definitely.
It all takes a lot of planning, a lot of calculation and what have you. And at the end of the day, it pays off. It's just like when somebody said, healthy living is expensive. Oh, I said, really? Just like people saying education is expensive. I said, why not try ignorance?
Of course, that's the truth, really.
And see whether it works out. When I did the same analysis you did, I did for somebody the other day. He said, you are talking of buying fresh fruits, eating vegetables, salad, and this and that. And I said, don't you know how much they sell these things in the market? And I said, okay, let's do a little explanation, a little calculation. If I, like this morning, let's assume I took banana or pawpaw for my breakfast. I said, I just buy the banana, peel it and eat.
Sure.
Or the pawpaw, peel it, rinse and eat. That's it. I don't need to do matches. I don't need to do stove. I don't need to do gas. I don't need to do salt. I don't need to do oil. I don't need to use soap to wash the oil.
At all.
I don't need to. And then at the end of the day, I don't develop headache, so I don't need paracetamol. I said, but you go take all those kind of breakfast, regular breakfast that people take, and then at the end of the day, you only think of the bread and maybe the milk and sugar and the tea that you bought. You forget that at home you used matches, you used stove, you used gas, you used electricity, and then you use soap to wash the plates, and then you buy paracetamol to address the headache.
Sure, well, that's the truth, really.
When you add everything up, it's more expensive to live unhealthily. And then when somebody develops a major disease, you go to the hospital, and they say, you need surgery. And they say, go and bring 2.5 million naira. That's when you know that living unhealthily is very expensive. Now, spending less than 200,000 naira to ensure that the water the whole household uses is clean. I mean, that's awesome as far as I'm concerned, and I will encourage everybody to work towards it. Now, let me ask a question again, and that question relates to the purity of the water. Now, you are representing the company, and I know you will speak for the company, but I want to ask you a technical question. I know you must have done it, but I'm not sure, but I expect that you should have done it. Have you tested the before and after water, before the water enters into this device, to know the components, constituents of the water, contaminants in the water, and then after going through that device, you now collect the output and test it and compare the two. Have you done any analysis like that?
Yes, we have.
Can you talk to us about it?
Okay, so we have done this, and that's why we could actually come up to tell you that this can purify your water to like 0.1 micron, okay?
Right.
So because we've done all of these analysis, you wouldn't be selling a product like this, and you would not have to check everything. So we have checked, we have done, and of course we also encourage people also, okay,
to do their own.
You can do yours.
Their own research.
But the truth is, we have several people who already started using this water, and they can actually testify, okay, to how pure the water is and how much it has helped them in terms of their health, okay? So one of the first things you get to discover is how light the water is in your mouth the moment you drink it, okay, as compared to what you had before. Okay, so we've done all of this, and we have them in our office.
Okay, I will ask another very technical one. I know you're ready for us today.
No problem.
Okay, now, In Nigeria, let me be specific to Nigeria, our own context here. Others that are watching from around the world, I know they will have different contexts within there. But in the Nigerian context, we have the Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, that registers devices and equipment and what have you. Do you have SON registration?
Yeah, of course. I would say that our company is a very legal company that likes to do things the way it should be done. So all our equipment, all our products, because we also have products that are not equipment, are all duly registered.
Great.
Duly registered.
Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, okay. Now, I know you have other products because you mentioned, apart from the BioPure Ultra, you mentioned another one. We will come to that other one, but it doesn't look like time will permit us today. But I want you to, first of all, before we sign off today, I want you to look at how the Elken BioPure Ultra compares with most other filters in the market.
Okay, that's fine. So I think at this point, we really need to talk about this, you know. Whatever you do, just like Reverend has also said, please drink a filtered water. Okay, it's not good enough that your organs will be doing the filtration for you, and that could actually affect you. So get a filter out there. But the truth is, in getting the filter, please compare the filters. Our filter can filter for you to about 0.1 micron. Most of the filters is written there, and I've actually seen several of them. You see 5 micron written, 5 micron written. 5 micron is good enough, but of course you can't compare 5 micron to 0.1 micron. Yeah. That means this.
I want you to explain that micron you are mentioning again so people understand. That is the size of the hole in the filter.
In the filter.
To determine what kind of thing can pass through that hole. That's right.
Yeah, that's the size of the hole in the filter. Okay, so, and that's measured in microns. For filters that are about 5 micron, that means if there's any contaminant that is lower than 5
micron, for example,
4 micron, it will just go through. Okay? Right. But of course, it's actually very impossible to see any contaminant that is less than 0.1, because that's like 500,000 times smaller than the strand of your hair. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's very significant.
The tip of a needle.
Yeah, very significant. But so you have to consider this. How many micron is that doing for you? I remember going to Port Harcourt, one of the people that bought our hydrogen machine, and we just saw it because she is very good in water purification, and I love her for that. She's got several equipment for purifying water. So we just saw one of them that is doing about 5 micron for her. I said, madam, you're using this, but we have a machine that can do 0.1 micron for you.
I'm sure she will be.
She bought it the same day, and that's the truth. So you consider that. You also consider, are you saving money on energy consumption? Because there are some that perhaps will use electricity, but ours does not require electricity. And of course, it doesn't store water. Most of the ones you see also could be like kettle form, different form that store water, so it could also have some contamination.
Yeah, you can breed some germs
doesn't have that. So it just flows through, and that gives you water that is top notch.
I've also seen some kind of water purification devices, so-called. I don't call them water purification devices because I got to understand their mechanism of action. And I saw that some of them have these chlorine cartridges that they just hid in one corner there, and it's just dispensing chlorine to the water. And then they call it water filtration, water purification. I said, what? This is water contamination device, not water purification device. How can you be dispensing chlorine? In fact, you see some household, they bring water engineers. They say they are coming to treat their water. They call it water treatment. And all they are coming to do is to pour chlorine into their borehole.
Wow.
They are contaminating the water. Please, ladies and gentlemen, do not pour chlorine into your borehole or your well. Sure. That's my own professional advice.
That's true.
As somebody who is board certified, as a holistic health practitioner, I am a nutritional consultant, board certified by the American Association of Drugless Practitioners, AADP. You can go and check. AADP, American Association of Drugless Practitioners. Practitioners that don't use drugs to attend to people's health. We use nutrition, we use, different modalities, such as the one we're talking to you about now, to make sure the water you are drinking is pure. It's not contaminated, all right? Chlorine is a contaminant. Chlorine is toxic to the human body. It will kill the germs quite all right. And that was why Dr. Norman Walker said chlorine is used to kill the enemy during wartime and to kill the citizens during peacetime.
Necessary. Already.
Yeah, because they add it to water and people drink it. And many people, some studies have linked a lot of bladder cancer.
That's it.
To people who drink a lot of chlorine. I don't drink chlorinated water. I do not advise anyone to take chlorinated water. So I encourage you to please get this device. And now we come to our gentleman at the other extreme end there. Would you like to again introduce yourself to our viewers today?
Thank you so much, sir. My name is Kingsley Simon. My phone number is 080-671-6924. My email address is kingjoy2009@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
He's here today because he's your contact person in case you need to obtain one of these devices, either the one we have talked about today or the one we're going to talk about next week, because we couldn't cover all the grounds today. They have more offerings for us.
Sure.
So next week, same time, same platform on both YouTube and Facebook, we'll be coming back again to share more on yet another device that does much more than what this Elken BioPure Ultra does in terms of water purification and the health benefits derivable from that extra in that other device. So this is where we draw the curtain for today because of time. We don't want to keep you for too long. We appreciate your spending your beautiful Monday evening with us, 8 p.m. West African time on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget that our axiom is what we need is not more medication, but more education. For the best prescription, of course, is knowledge. Again, this has been brought to you by TSF, the Shepherd's Flock International Church, and I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi is my name. Again, don't forget to reach out to Kingsley Simon. The telephone number is on the screen. The email address is on the screen. You can use any of the two channels. Send him an email or send him a chat or an SMS or a WhatsApp or give him a call. And he will be very happy to attend to you and help you to obtain your device. And if you live in the Lagos area, he might even help you to install it, even though you can install it by yourself. But if you need some help, we are ready to offer that help, through him. Thank you very much once again. Have a beautiful and fruitful week. God bless you. We love you all. Would you like to say bye-bye to our viewers?
Thank you so much, Reverend Akinyemi, for having us here. Thank you, all the viewers, for giving us your time. We sincerely do appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.